There's no doubt that the coronavirus has been at the forefront of the housing issues this year. So what does this mean for the future of housing? Joining me now is the Chartered Institute of Housing's Chief Executive, Gavin. So 2020 must have been the most challenging year the sector has seen so far. What sort of challenges have you been facing?
Well, there have been a number of challenges, but in particular, the economic impact has impacted on the housing sector in the same way as it has on any other. But probably bigger than that, I think, was the issue of making sure that we were able to keep services going even during the height of lockdown, because people's homes are important. People still need the services. They still need repairs and emergency services, and a huge amount of work went into making sure that we were able to keep services going and keep everybody involved safe. Finally, of course, lockdown and the social distancing measures that we have seen have had an impact on people's mental health. We have seen a rise in loneliness and isolation, and that has had a real impact. And for some people, that's been difficult to deal with.
Even before this pandemic came around now, the housing sector was facing a number of challenges, wasn't it? Some of those still haven't gone away, have they?
No, I don't think any of the challenges we were facing have gone away. And if anything, what the pandemic has done is thrown them into sharper relief. The failures in our housing system were simply made more apparent when you see the impact that the pandemic has had on some people who are insecurely or unaffordably housed. So the big challenges that we face remain. We simply don't have enough affordable housing, and certainly not enough of the most affordable homes at social rents. And we still have to do all we can to maximise new social rented homes. There's a massive challenge of responding to the post-Grenfell tragedy agenda and making sure that we can be sure that all of our homes are safe and properly maintained. And looking forwards, we have an enormous job of work to do to take our nation's housing stock and to make it to take it into a condition that we need it to be, and to be sustainable, to be greener, to be more energy efficient. Those big three present some real challenges to the housing sector, some real challenges for resourcing. They were there before the pandemic. The pandemic, I think, has simply just brought it into greater focus.
You talked there about affordable homes. How far do you think the government's build strategy is really going to help address the chronic shortage of homes that we have for people?
Well, I think we're still waiting to see some of the detail of exactly what the government wants to do with its build strategy. But it's clearly very welcome that they have recognised and they have said that they know that we need to do better and we need to do more. And that's a really good first step. I think for me, the challenge is numbers are important, but they're not the only game in town. We also have to think about what we're building, where we're building, and the quality of what we're building. And for me, I think we must make sure that we prioritise building some of the most affordable homes at social rents, and they need to be a significant part of the housing that we build. So the mix of what we build and the quality is probably at least as important as the absolute numbers.
What about the cutting of red tape when it comes to planning legislation? How crucial is that? What sort of problems do you foresee there?
For me, I think there are two major challenges. The first of which is we need to be sure that there is a way of maintaining what's called planning gain. This is the ability for the planning system to require developers to devote at least a proportion of the homes on any new building site to being affordable homes and ideally homes for social rent. The current planning system has a mechanism for doing that. That mechanism looks as if it might disappear under the reforms. We need another mechanism for ensuring that we have what you would call on-site and in-kind provision of affordable housing. So I think that's a first challenge. The second challenge is the government is very keen on extending the permitted development route. This is where actually homes can be built or buildings can be adapted without planning permission. That is a cause of some significant concern. Some of the homes that have been built using the permitted development route, I think, would not meet the standards that any of us would normally expect of a modern home. They're not the quality we should be building, and that is a cause of concern.
What are you doing now to really remain optimistic in your sector? What are you doing constructively now to really move things forward?
Well, there are a number of things actually that give me cause for optimism. So first and most importantly, we are looking forward to a government spending review in the autumn. And we are working now to make the case that housing needs to be at the heart of the government's plans for recovery. With our partner organisations, we are running a campaign called Homes at the Heart. And that's very much about saying we need to see and use housing as being part of the recovery, because housing is about people's homes, and homes are where you build your life from. And we must use housing as part of the recovery to build the environment, to build the economy, to build the society that we'd like to see. The other reason for optimism that I have actually is that across the sector, during the course of the pandemic, what you've seen, I think, is hundreds of organisations and thousands of individual housing professionals just finding ways to get stuff done, just making sure that the job gets done, even in very, very difficult and very, very challenging circumstances, because making sure that the people who live in our homes have good quality, safe, secure homes and the services that they need is of paramount importance. And we've managed to do that to a very large degree.
OK, Gavin Smart, good luck in your endeavours. Many thanks for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.